got a perfect hiding. I've been searching the solution, and it's not a revolution. The passion that will free us was hidden in plain sight. There will time. And you know summer is made for love, and winter is the perfect time for Godland. Spring and fall are so romantic, right? But when we feel the things are crazy, we stay home, we're making babies. And we stay home, we're making babies all night. Let have your eyes, my laughter and your smile. She'll be running like a devil, he'll be posing as a rebel. We'll teach him how to dance, and then we go to France for a while. We'll be traveling the globe in a vintage station wagon, like a movie from the 80s. Making friends with some meetings, camping on volcanoes, taking random shots of the world. And you know summer is made for love, and winter is the perfect time for Godland. Spring and fall are so romantic, right? And when we feel things are crazy, staying home, making babies. We stay home, making babies all night. You know summer is made for loving. Winter is the perfect time for Godland. The spring and fall are so romantic, right? So when we feel the things are crazy, we stay home, making babies. So we stay home, making babies all night. Monday is busy, Tuesday I feel dizzy, Wednesday is so tiring, Thursday uninspiring. The weekend comes around, I got already Monday on my mind. But I keep on smiling, cause I got a perfect hiding. I've been searching the solution, and it's not a revolution. The passion that will free us was hidden in plain sight. There will time. And you know summer is made for love, and winter is the perfect time for Godland. Spring and fall are so romantic, right? But when we feel the things are crazy, we stay home, we're making babies. And we stay home, we're making babies all night. Let have your eyes, my laughter and your smile. She'll be running like a devil, he'll be posing as a rebel. We'll teach him how to dance, and then we go to France for a while. We'll be traveling the globe in a vintage station wagon, like a movie from the 80s. Making friends with some meetings, camping on volcanoes, taking random shots of the world. And you know summer is made for love, and winter is the perfect time for Godland. Spring and fall
Di kita masih starting soon doang.
Udah.
Rating pending. Apaan nih?
Halo semuanya guys. Halo. Selamat datang
Kok
di
gue nggak ada
Today.
audionya ya?
Wah, ada gue di Twitch. Halo semua.
Masa sih? Wah. Ayo saya anjing.
Di kita udah mulai kan? Soalnya di gua masih ini udah.
Hi everyone, I'm
Udah.
Mom Kumar and I'm very excited to be
Fancy lo,
co-hosting the
orang
first Ubisoft Forward with the
Itu
talented
kanan bawah
Ubisoft
tuh.
McGee. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the
Kendrick
streets
Lamar.
of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DedSec are getting into.
Nah, ini Legion.
Iya, Legion dulu ya.
Oke.
Wah, harapnya udah dulu gitu. Atau
Tapi not
komplain.
actual gameplay.
The last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. The criminal suspected to have links with the terrorist group DedSec.
Gila, keren banget tuh Legion tuh.
Legion.
Ngeri banget.
Legion ini Lenovo.
Ya.
Bener sih, Bang. Sih. Manusia tentatif loh.
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners.
Oh, review Ki harus minta
Not speak
4 nih.
out, because I was not a foreigner.
Gua ngapain login Uplay? Gua udah ada Watch Dogs 2, Bang.
And I did not speak out, because I was not a protester.
Iya, trailernya goks. Ubisoft emang kalau bikin trailer udah nomor 1 gitu. Nggak ada lawan.
Then they came for the journalists,
Artnya keren, selalu graffiti.
Selalu dia dari dulu.
Selalu.
because I was not a journalist.
Tapi pas gameplaynya kayak Doraemon gitu.
Ya,
Masih mending kayak Doraemon
Then they
daripada
came
kayak
for
Bandai.
street artists.
Bandai bagus loh. Bandai.
One Punch Man.
Ya jangan main Bansman. Terus sih juga. Parkur.
Emang hobi banget parkour dah ini kayaknya Ubisoft. Ya udah nikmatin aja eventnya lah, kalau nggak bisa login udah banyak orang yang login pasti.
Demen banget dah gue estetikanya.
Bagus gila, Legion emang nyala mulu.
Enggak, ininya nih apa? Iniannya apa? Timnya kayak apa? Kartunis gitu loh.
No
Oh,
real
kayak
artists.
Into apa Spider-Verse itu, cuma versinya lebih realis sedikit ya.
Iya. Dikasarin kayak Sin City gitu. Blacknya di crush.
WD2 bagus kok, cuma ada downgrade dikit aja.
Gila, trailer efeknya bagus banget.
Kerjaannya niat banget.
Iya.
Okay, sorry, Mick. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
Kenapa nggak ngasih actual gameplay dia?
Habis ini udah.
Isinya kitanya Legion semua nih.
Well.
Asik
Anjay.
banget tuh.
There's a welcome.
Oh, gue harus punya yang paling kanan tuh topengnya tuh.
Yang mana yang paling kanan?
Tadi ada yang
Yang lo mau beli tuh.
Bloody
Apaan tuh? Babi, bukan babi kan?
Tengkorak.
Oh, yang nyala, yang ada crownnya.
Been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver.
Habis direkrut
He
ceritanya
has
supir
no
taksi,
criminal
bos.
record, but is currently believed to be a
Yang pakai topeng.
People have been asked not to approach him. The authorities advise all residents.
Oh, berarti pas mereka mau kabur tuh mereka pasti pakai topeng, coy. Reclaim your future. Ubisoft.
Nggak, pas lu udah ketahuan lo pakai topeng.
Iya, pas udah ketahuan kan pas lari kan mau kabur kan.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto
Film juga cuy, sama
that
kayak Cyberpunk.
was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the world. You profile people that are interesting to you. You help them with their problem. You play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do it.
Anjing bajunya.
Sounds like a dead
Ini
sick
mepet,
problem.
tai.
Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Anjay.
Our London town.
Nah, kira gameplay.
A modern metropolis. Built on history
Bisa
and
nonton bola nggak ya?
prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to
Kalau
build
bisa
it
sih
up.
keren cuy.
And one
Iya,
night
makanya.
to tear it all down.
Taruhan gitu.
Waduh.
Oh my god.
Tapi kali ini gambarnya emang dibiasa-biasain aja gue lihat ya.
Mendingan gini lah. Biar nggak expectation-nya nggak lebay.
With London
Tapi
under
bagus loh
attack
ini
by a
gambar.
mysterious terrorist,
Ya maksud gue di
the
apa?
government turns to a private
Dibanding
military company
Watch
called
Dogs yang
Albion to
pertama
keep
kan.
everyone safe. What
Eh,
could
ya ini kayak
possibly go
ini
wrong?
kayak si itu.
Ladies and
Si
gentlemen,
siapa?
Mr.
Yang kita
Nigel
ceng-cengin
Cass,
waktu itu sama Luis
CEO
segala.
of Albion.
Oh,
Ya,
Division.
Division.
To establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself,
Nyawer
Thank you nyawer.
dari Rizwan. Nih, Son buat beli lumber.
Anjay.
Beli lamber.
Rizwan lagi nih untuk Babang Soni yang invisible di IG story.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to
Thank you,
this fair
Rizwan.
city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This
Wah,
microchip is
kerjaan
scary
lu nih,
enough,
Wak,
but
pasti,
I've
Wak.
got to keep tracks on my
Anjing.
merchandise, don't I?
Job lu
You
pasti.
will be enslaved.
David mah konsumennya cuy.
Want to ruffle
Pengajar.
With the city out on its ass, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back
London tuh Chelsea ya London.
Iya.
everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Chelsea, Arsenal,
Any of the
Everton.
brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited
Spurs.
into your team.
Everton.
Like
Spurs.
him. Her.
Everton Mas Hauser.
Keren sih. Senjata pakai pilok anjing.
Everyone could become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes. Badly. Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone.
Anjay.
Perfect for gate crashing. When
Kok
you're not
kok bisa
invited.
ya? Ini
And who needs a
dipakai di
regular old gun when you
London
have
ya?
a bloody
Padat
nail gun?
banget loh London.
Come here, you soidoid shitboy.
Keren sih. Ini pakai staples tuh. Staples kayu ya.
Movementnya ini ya sama
Perhaps we
breakpoint.
could approach this mission differently. If you'd
Asetnya
rather keep
sama,
your
Wak, cuma
distance,
ganti map
we've
aja,
got
Pak.
you covered.
Bau-bau bandai
Amy is a
lagi.
drone expert,
What have we here?
a real tech
Selalu
connoisseur.
ada cutscene terus ya kalau ganti orang.
Hate spiders.
Iya
But
lah.
love this one.
Kayak GTA.
Oh,
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A
Keren tuh
drone
tasnya.
expert does have the unique ability
That guy,
to
that
summon
guy.
their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aimed, she fired, she hit.
I'm reading incoming drones.
RGB tasnya.
She can also hack
Masih
enemy
ROG
drones,
juga.
turning the tide in her
Yoi.
favor.
Bisa RGB.
And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done. Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll
Bisa
get you
berkhianat,
inside
nih.
restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me. Just doing recon for a
Wes
bunch
nih
of
ala-ala
insurgents.
Hitman nih
However,
berarti
do
ngerjainnya.
anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the defense minister on the line right now.
If you feel you must.
Criminals running our streets, illegals threatening our families, the police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
Like putting another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Ini London banget nih. Versus Weirdo.
He does have a slight drinking problem, though. And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional.
Keanu.
Iya kayak Keanu Reeves aja. Keren coy topengnya coy.
It's almost crass to call it.
Lagunya sama men dipakai di John Wick yuk.
Iya emang.
Iya. Yang pas di sini ini juga sama. Kalau lo perhatiin lagu.
Nah, itu cara mainnya John Wick banget, Pak.
Iya. Yang scene di poolnya sama lagunya juga dipakai.
Some might even call him an artist.
Keren banget. Keren banget sih kalau pakai yang special agent gini. Asik. Asik.
Anjay.
Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero.
Semoga aktivitasnya banyak sih.
So get out there, find the best recruits, and build your resistance.
Mobilnya James Bond.
It's time to take back London.
Wah keren sih. Berapa yuk? Wah, bentar lagi coy.
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city, teeming with unique locales and characters, has always been a central
Soni
pillar
guys
of
ini
the
ya.
Watch Dogs series.
What goes into building this world? Here's Amanda Mike to tell us more.
Tapi itu Legion benar-benar nggak ada bocoran apa-apa loh.
My name's Amanda Mike.
Apanya?
I'm a
Ya maksud gue
level
WD
artist
pertama
on
ada
Watch
bocor.
Dogs Legion
Temen gue
at
bisa
Ubisoft
ngomong
Toronto.
ini nggak ada kabar sama sekali
Being a level artist,
tentang
I
Legion.
think, is the
Berarti kayaknya
coolest
leak-leak
job
yang
in
kemarin
video
mungkin
games
agak
because we
direncanakan kali
do
ya.
get the freedom to
Soalnya
kind
sampai
of
sekarang
like
nggak ada
pick and choose
nggak ada
what
cerita apa-apa
little
gitu.
details we want to depict, and we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the
Iya
spaces.
saya
that
tuh
we're
kalau
assigned
lihat
to.
agen-agen gitu orgasme
I
guys.
have the capacity to hide things and like small little Easter eggs.
in AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they'd go, oh my God, this feels like Camden. This feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster.
Camden.
When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
Wah gila sih ini sih. Ya.
Brawlhalla.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans.
Ngedon ini.
In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Brawlhalla.
William
lu mainan kita nih.
Iya. Roster baru ya?
Bisa ke Android katanya.
Oh iya,
iOS Android.
Susah dong mainnya.
Ayan. Tapi oke lah ada game brawl yang dari publisher AAA. Oh bisa mapping
crossplay juga. Nggak imbang banget sama orang yang pakai controller.
Iyalah. Legends. Ya paling pada pakai controller juga di HP.
Ya cuman nggak banyak yang persentasenya rendah lah. Yang punya controller sama yang enggak.
Whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming,
Tom Clancy,
we got you covered.
Apa nih?
Tom Clancy katanya.
Ghost Recon.
Oh my God, Magic.
Mantan Magic Tom Clancy ya.
Tadi dia
tapi gue nungguin sih, ini berarti yang ke-8 nih ya?
Ini mainan lo, Mantan Magic.
Iya. Soalnya yang ke-7 kan hancur tuh. Ya iyalah 30 juta lah, orang nge-crash mulu. Gimana nggak 30 juta lo ngabisin waktu main.
Ya yang mau kerja besok mau kuliah silakan tidur ya. Gue penasaran Valhalla sama nggak sih bocoran yang kemarin jelek banget soalnya.
Contohnya kalau bohong gimana tuh?
Chaos.
Contohnya selama ini bukan Valhalla gitu. Jadi kemarin cuman
apa Ubisoft pahala
gitu. Oh ini yang baru ya?
Battle Royale.
Apa sih namanya?
Oh.
Apa sih namanya?
Konsepnya semua konsepnya pada begini ya sekarang kayak Battle Royale. Biar enteng gitu ya.
Apa ya namanya?
Team Fortress. Kayak Valorant modelnya.
Contact! Moat chain is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound. Danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
Oh, AI-nya ya?
Bah, ini mah
itu karakter yang dari ini kan?
Iya, dari
Breakpoint apa sih?
Wildlands.
Lah iya,
iya. Oh iya, yang tadi mah Jian kan dari Rainbow tuh.
Iya, yang cewek.
Ini kan Diablo juga kan, yang dari Ghost Recon apa sih itu
Don't
kemarin.
make me regret this.
Ada skin gitu ya. Iya bener Tom Clancy cuy, oleh squad. Nah, kampret, sempak kering.
Tuh kalau yang satunya lagi yang game Battle Royale itu apa?
Ya, makanya.
Bukan punya Ubisoft.
It's been 5
Ubisoft juga,
years
Ubisoft.
since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Mainannya Luis ya. Bangsat nih dulu trailernya
In
bagus
December
banget nih dulu.
2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi.
Ini e-sport scene-nya menarik
That
banget
original
nih.
vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
Jadi ada orang yang above above the pro level gitu loh deh. Terus semua orang pada bilang kalau dia tuh cheating gitu segala macam. Terus akhirnya dia buktiin balik kalau kagak.
Bahwa dia murni main.
Di ban aja 2 tahun. Terus kalinya balik dibantai itu semua cowok.
Ya dendam lah itu, 2 tahun main, Wak. Pakai di orang.
We also had our share of challenges.
Gila anjir.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
Through it all, we're always driven by
Dan harusnya sih diupdate juga
our
hari ini
community,
sih. Nggak tahu
and
juga
together
deh.
we grow stronger.
Tapi sih kayak konsisten banget ya dia bikin ini ya, scene ya.
Iya,
Update-nya rajin banget, ngerapiinnya rajin banget.
Iya dedicated banget ya.
Iya, timnya.
Beda sama Blizzard sekarang.
Ubisoft sama community ini sih perhatian sebenarnya.
C'est vraiment le résultat de
Just
autant
Dance
de nous
gitu-gitu
que de vous.
perhatiin banget
Ce jeu
community.
est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre nous.
Rusak-rusaknya nama mereka
Now
mah.
60 million
Tetep
players
aja bikin
strong.
cinta aja.
We're just
Iya,
getting
buat para
started.
pecinta game-nya ngerasa diperhatiin soalnya.
Iya, feedback-nya didengerin.
From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank you.
Tuh, sampai bikin video khusus coy buat terima kasih sama komunitasnya.
60
Gokil
juta.
60 juta. Gila, 10 juta player coy.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive
Ini
into
zaman
our
kita belum
new
menjadi
Operation
reviewer tuh,
Steel
eh.
Wave update available
Iya.
now,
Zaman
and
kita
take
baru
Mason
main-main doang.
Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago,
Nah,
we
ini loh,
introduced
Battle
y'all to
Royale.
a
Iya,
brand new
Hyperscape.
multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Shooter.
Nah, ini yang bagus nih gambarnya. Katanya apa sih distopia ya?
Italia ya.
Iya kayak kotanya Assassin's Creed ya.
What was that? A hack
Wes,
in a hyperscape.
Dapit.
Iya,
That's
udah.
not supposed to be there.
Itu kan pedagangan
Let me
asongan
get
nih.
you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our
Global
future started to
crisis.
come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. Here we are.
Salah teknologi.
10 billion souls living in the crush of the megacities. But the people at Prisma changed everything. They gave everyone a way
Iya,
out.
grafisnya.
Keren banget.
The
Bikin trailer
hyperscape.
doang sih, usaha
Iya.
berharap juga.
In the
Iya.
hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Gue kira tuh Kron.
Keren.
Sungold.
Ini kosmetiknya pasti gila-gilaan. Gila, ini kayak ngehantamin Battle Royale.
Kosmetik yang si Aldo sama Erik bakal beli ini.
Iya.
Entah celana lah, entah hoodie lah.
Apalagi ini nyala-nyala, Pak.
Ini masih ada yang dibeli.
Erik lah duluan, pasti Erik.
Erik.
Nah, ini pasti kostumnya ada nih, dibeli sama Erik pasti yang pertama.
Strange things have been
Yang penting
happening.
mainnya kayak serot aja dulu, maju.
Rumors of people getting hurt.
Nggak ada pertimbangan jumlah playernya masih berapa.
Ini dia PS skillnya keren gitu. Gila nih kayak Battle Royale yang lain kayak dibantai cuma dia.
Kayaknya.
And we have to find him.
Gambar kayak gini tuh kalau misalnya konsepnya kayak gini mah ngeri banget kali.
Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a
Kan gue
way
udah
out.
lu masih demen deh main Battle Royale.
Nah, tergantung ekosistemnya sih, Wak. Kalau kitanya lupa demen main gitu ya seru sebenarnya kayak Modern Warfare gitu. Ya cuman lagi-lagi maksud gue main ini butuh jam terbang sih. Kita udah kagak ada waktu main.
Director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch, seeing it grow, adding ideas. It's really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2050.
Keren Jod, desain
future, where humanity has grown a little darker.
Gue malah dapat feel-nya Saints Row.
They are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia.
Sama ini Crackdown.
Keren coy.
Nah, Ubisoft.
Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the
kayak Unity,
opportunity to parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players.
Migrasi nih dari Apex bisa migrate ke sini.
Bisa migrate.
We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics.
Battle Royale sekarang udah bukan kayak tema lagi, udah jadi genre.
You can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all viewers will be able to interact with the game through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity,
tapi kayaknya obstacle-nya banyak banget gitu ya.
Stuff like that. So
Kayak bangunan
really have to adapt all kinds of stuff that
harus orang-orang yang jago, yang sadar lokasi coba.
For me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching open beta, and so it's going to be
Verticality lagi mainnya ya, kayak kemarin
for all PC players.
Oh iya, incernya itu berarti ya.
All the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can
map desainnya bakalan, gue nggak tahu deh. Map desainnya harus benar-benar sempurna banget.
Dia tadi,
kayak ngotak.
Soalnya kalau terlalu kayak begitu, maksud gue secara gameplay balance harus benar-benar ini. Maksud gue kalau ngomongin apa map desain yang sempurna menurut gue Apex gitu.
Iya, Apex sih.
Hampir semuanya ke cover gitu.
Let's show them what I'm made of.
Oh iya, sekarang gue nggak tahu sih. Yang baru
awal kita kan main.
Iya.
Anjay, bisa gitu.
Ini mah akrobatan dibutuhkan sekali nih dalam permainan ini.
Iya, ini mah bukan yang cuma kiri kanan doang.
Iya. Banyak banget tuh skill itu.
Here we go.
Waduh.
Itu temboknya tinggi.
Hanya ada Mei juga.
Play the PC open beta.
Now.
Hah?
Udah cuk, nanti cuk.
Udah tuh open beta
Juli. Oh iya sekarang berarti.
The digital world of
besok
Hyperscape
sama Aldo
gave our
streaming.
artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production
Gue cuma
manager
takutnya
Anna Maria
kayak
Muscat
kemarin
is going
itu
to take us
yang
behind
apa
the
tuh
scenes of character design.
yang masuknya dapat itunya lama.
My name is Anna Maria Muscat. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape.
Iya, kalau nggak matchmaking
an
lama.
exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We
Developernya aja
switch
bagus,
different
developernya.
outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals,
Developernya minta
as
diseruput.
real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them, and
Soni
what
nih
challenges
badannya.
them.
Udah
This
dong,
was
udah.
the first lineup of characters. This is our default base. But even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body?
Curl inian doang.
Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's going to happen in the game. I'm very excited to see it in people's hands.
Gila, mantap.
Gua coba.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone, Phil Spencer from Xbox. With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery. So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Film mah gamer beneran tuh.
Apaan?
Film mah gamer beneran.
I know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
Masih lebih seru Origins
and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So a
couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell a real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game.
Ya kalau hal kayak gitu emang jago banget sih emang.
It is a personal adventure,
buat nyiptain rasa kayak Assassin's Creed yang pertama. Pas lo pertama kali naik gunung itu naik kuda terus tau depan lo satu kota gitu kelihatan.
Because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available.
Oh gila, bagus banget.
Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and
itu mainnya
really
di itu kali
so you will have to
AMD
fight your way
APU
there
kali.
to kind of build your own
2500
settlement
U
and see
gitu
your
pakai
clan
laptop
prosper.
gue yang NV gitu kali itu.
MacBook.
Vikings were brutal warriors. And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight
Legion
system,
sama ini sama-sama pakai ray tracing.
to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face to face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yaudah, yuk. Oke, in-game footage.
Oh jelek banget bener ya?
Iya santai dong. Belum lah.
In Assassin's Creed
menggambarin.
Mantap.
Kok bukan Odyssey sih?
Viking invasion of England.
Gila. Keren gambarnya keren.
Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
Good of our clan. It is time we go a Viking. Today we raid. That tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by Longshot, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
Gue udah merasakan feel kebosanan jalan-jalan sih.
Gue sih demen sih.
Gue
demen settingnya soalnya sih.
Iya ngerti Wak. Jadi mau review aja gantian nih Assassin's Creed.
Boleh sih.
Kalau lu suka.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms.
Masih maraton dia.
Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving
Soni
you
aja
access to useful
settingannya The
services,
Witcher banget kan
better
ya?
tools,
Mirip ya?
and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map.
Legion aja dah.
It will serve as a record of the allies you have made.
Assassin's Creed Wild Hunt anjing.
The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends.
Sebenarnya yang perlu itu adalah bukan si Valhalla-nya yang jelek, tapi apa yang Witcher 3 lakukan adalah enggak sih. Witcher 3 nggak gini.
Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks.
Ini Witcher 3 dalam untuk mod ini.
Fidelity-nya lebih dapat lah Wak.
Iya, jauh lebih detail.
To face these attacks, you
ya
must
sekarang
find
lah
and
Witcher
exploit
3
your
bisa
opponent's
begini,
weaknesses
cuman
to
dengan
gain the
mod.
upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities.
Brutalnya sih dapat lah Vikingnya ya.
Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off.
Ini
dual wield any two weapons
tadi belum di London
to unleash a deadly combination of attacks.
Ini belum di Inggris ini.
Masih di Norway kan?
Iya, ini masih di Norway.
Customize your fighting style as you see fit and become a legendary Viking warrior.
Ini Ghost of Tsushima lah ini.
All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including 2 shields.
Siapa orang pakai 2 shield ini berantem? Acap sih.
Waduh, gila.
Barbar sih. Nggak pernah sebarbar itu sih Assassin's Creed sih.
In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt.
Masih ada aja dihilangin aja, ngapa sih misi ininya?
Mekanik
paling kesel gue sebenarnya dari
orang gitu kan.
Iya.
Bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds and slip past watchful eyes. An unseen hunter among the
people. Di situ emang tuh orang semeja kagak kesel. Ini siapa sih ini?
From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure. Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment.
Setiap ngeliat mancing langsung.
Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement.
The puzzle.
The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Ya, 80 jam lah ini kayaknya.
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we fight for your land. And tomorrow we rebuild. For Istanbul.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous haunted lands, inspired by Norse and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Oh, gameplaynya di post show.
Cantik sih tapi gambarnya.
Ya oke lah, ini untuk dimainin bukan untuk di review sih. November 17, sebulan setelahnya tuh.
Knights of England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before.
Rame banget ya.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games. But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
Udah yang terekspektasi.
Keren deh yang baru. Ini FC ya?
Ini apa nih?
FC
Far Cry. Iya benar, Far Cry 6 nih.
Iya.
Itu anjing nih trailernya baru kelas.
Breaking Bad 2 tau ya.
Breaking Bad sama Gasfring.
Keren. Far Cry emang menurut gue paling cakep dah kalau bikin trailer gitu.
Bagus.
Akhirnya di kota nih dia nih, mantap. Tuh ya Far Cry. Aduh.
Sinematiknya tuh emang nomor 1 deh Ubisoft dan.
Iya, nggak diobatin cuy. Kalau Bandai kan enggak ada sinematik.
Adanya loading screen soalnya.
Kan bakal
Iya bener.
Ya bikin loading screen mah bukan bakat tuh.
Dari Konstuar El Paraiso. Keren cuy, gila. Nanti pas muncul gameplaynya baru kurang ya guys. Kalau trailernya mau nomor 1.
Kali-kali Far Cry itu kita yang jadi penjahatnya gitu ya, kan seru ya.
Cuman emang sudah dari awal konsepnya begitu.
Iya, di twist gitu loh. Kita yang jadi, atau kita jadi lieutenant-nya siapanya gitu dari musuhnya.
Ya, Gasfring.
Ntar di belakangnya ada itu, ada Los Pollos Hermanos. Jualan ayam.
Jual ayam.
Created by Ubisoft ya iya dong, masa by EA?
Katanya ada tulisannya with cooperation EA.
Ya ini leak yang kemarin nih. Nah ini katanya Vas pada spekulasi
Iya banyak yang bilang, tapi gue bilang bukan.
Mungkin deh itu ada
orang
iPhone.
Orang udah bilang cuma karena ada codet di itunya doang kan.
Itu earphone iPhone juga.
I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hand.
Vas kan mukanya nggak Indian gini.
Mexican.
Papa.
Iya.
The grenade is
ini mah Sharukan juga.
It has 4 basic parts.
Iya, rada-rada.
The shell, which contains the explosive. The fuse.
The Boys bulan depan loh, The Boys.
And of course,
what the fuck?
The pin.
Let's go man, The Boys.
Ada Spring lagi.
Gue udah lama gak nonton Superman gila juga.
makin serem tuh anjing, Homelander.
Rindu gue mau Homelander.
Jadi dia ada orang mau, dia kesel gitu lah sama orang. Dia mau bunuh orang, cuman banyak reporter gitu. Cuman kelihatan gitu mukanya.
Pasti senyum-senyum tetap.
Iya, muka frustrasi, ketawa-ketawa gitu.
Figurnya sih gue nungguin banget tay. Belum enak tuh ngelengkapin dikit.
Oh iya, keren sih.
I am El Presidente. Which means that
Nih ada Argo. Thank you Argo.
be president.
Thank you bro.
Thank you Argo.
People, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise,
Kayaknya berubah sih dari hutan-hutan udah bosen.
strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart,
Nggak tahu sih, Bos nggak terlalu kayak gini sih.
if you only want to save
Tapi nggak tahu lah nanti kalau misalnya ini Bos juga harus ada penjelasan panjang nih terkait kenapa bisa terdampar di pulaunya Far Cry 3 deh.
do, believe, will be wrong.
Ini mah Tropico, anjing Tropico.
Ya ini.
Oh dia ngeluarin Dark Saber nih.
Kayak
evil. A monster.
nggak ada gameplaynya berarti ini trailer doang.
And give you
Trailer udah dilihat lagi leaknya. Tinggal kaget gue. Protagonisnya sama Dani.
Oh iya.
Gue lupa namanya Dani, tapi udah di-leak di Ubisoft Hong Kong kemarin di store. Karakter utamanya namanya Dani kalau gue nggak salah ya. Ini Kuba ceritanya.
Our country is like this grenade, except it has two basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom.
Udah yang mau klaim WD2 tuh udah dikatain sama Ubisoft itu, lu bisa tetap dapat, besok-besok juga bisa lo ambil lah. Santai. Jangan marah-marah pada bukan Dani Jidat dong, masa karakter utamanya Dani Jidat. Nah ini sih lu.
Dua.
Bener Februari tuh, udah leaknya udah confirm lah sih.
Februari.
Amil loh tahun fiskalnya dia tuh. Gokil. Mana nih gameplay dong?
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward.
Udah selesai.
Today we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
Mantap.
Berarti yang berikutnya pas deket-deket konsol launch berarti ya?
Iya. Yang terakhir nih.
Oh udah gameplay nih.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf McGee, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philip Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Berg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Berg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before, Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman-to-be to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down.
Mana bikin apa ya? Maksud gue harusnya kan ada rasa visceral feel-nya gitu ya kalau kayak ginian ya.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of
skalanya tuh lu terlalu sering ngebunuh-ngebunuhin orang gini tuh jadi hilang gitu loh efek itunya. Iya.
Basically
nggak kayak The Last of Us gitu loh.
So we added like some wielding for the
player.
Perang.
Kalau The Last of Us kan kayak lu kalau ngebunuh tuh berasa lu kayak ngebunuh orang beneran gitu. Ada rasa nyawa yang lu cabut gitu dari kalau ini kan sadis doang, cuman ya udah sadis doang gitu.
Ada dari Samaria lagi. Taufik.
He lives.
Thank you, Taufik.
Thank you, Taufik.
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Eldorman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson?
Buat yang nanya VGA bisa jalan atau enggak, pasti bisa jalan game. Masalah FPS-nya berapa yang nggak tahu berapa.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive,
kalau jalan doang nggak bisa. Mau 1 FPS, 2 FPS kan tetap jalan.
So the next move for Eivor is to finally
dulu gue main 6 FPS dulu.
She has her allies, they can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles actually.
Lost.
Gamenya
Lost series.
Iya, Lost series.
And it's worth pointing out actually that here what we're showing is the player going facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360 degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthy and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf.
Here, one of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now Rued will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf. But I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
Iya, gue baru nggak.
Siapa sih yang mainin?
Ngulang-ngulang hal yang sama.
Bisa diserang.
Kan ngambil footage-nya sambil ngikutin script juga. Dilama-lamain gitu.
Tapi bego banget sih PT ini.
They should be roomed, Wolfkist. Made thralls, not treated as equals. We are better than this. Than all of them.
Jauh lah gila, bagusan God Over lah kalau combatnya mah. God Over nggak bosen gila, dipotong sinematik di situ. Ih, langsung cutscene gini anjing.
These arrogant swine. Eivor, no! He should be
tried
before God.
Ada transisinya dulu biar mantap.
Alright, so we've defeated Rued, we freed Oswald. What comes next?
Oswald in this case prefers for Rued to be kept alive, and so you basically have to choose whether you're going to go against his wishes or to stay true to your nature.
Kali aja nanti
so we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right, so when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending you.
Merauke tsunami sembarangnya baca tuh.
In defense of a lost cause.
Yeah, so she's really using like, the image and like the leadership that Aldo had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane, but the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause, but first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Ruid and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side.
Far Cry 4, emang Far Cry 4 kita jadi, oh iya benar. Tapi kan dibangunnya dari awal bukan kita sebagai penjahat tapi. Gue males boss fight-nya doang gue.
When Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities.
Soalnya buat gue
improvements that we've done
ngerusak pacing game-nya aja. Lu udah gini tetap ketemu satu orang gitu lama.
You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really again like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize.
Mendingan ala Hitman aja gitu sekalian maksud gue buat boss fight-nya gitu. Cari cara biar gampang untuk ngebunuhnya gitu. Lu sebagai assassin gitu.
Karena kan lu bakal dikumpulin sama pasukan lu kan.
What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the Eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
Something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose, I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the Valkyrie die that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world, so again to promote exploration and discovery. As you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations or the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do.
Itu cuma buat diisep loh, bukan buat ditiup.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Saxophone.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor.
Emang mukanya itu deh, kalau Ubisoft bikin muka kenapa kocak ya mukanya?
Eivor decided to let him live. Ruud is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your so he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all these decisions come into play later on in the game, so you have very difficult decisions for the player to make. You want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Ruud's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between
siapa sih yang jadi karakter modelnya
Eivor? It's an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here. Meets Oswald. The problems he had with Madrid are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
So, Fizz, we've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat,
tidak beda
taken
dengan
down
Current Gen
Ruin.
karena akan muncul
We have
di
this
Current
big
Gen,
open region
teman-teman.
of East Anglia. So before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do
Kalau
you
dia
say
muncul
we
eksklusif
head
buat
out, have some
PS5 kayak
fun,
gini mah
and
ya
see what we
boleh
can get into in the open
lempar.
world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it.
Mendengarkan
You best
keinginan
believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Keinginan para
these are some of our
pet lover.
some of my favorite moments actually in the game where we put
Ini boleh
out a whole bunch of
ditempelin nggak
events throughout the
bocahnya?
territory, and it sort of rewards again, exploration going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more.
Misi-misi fetch mission gini benci banget gue sumpah dah anjing.
So here basically
kucing
like
aja mesti
you're
nangkepin
trying to
Eivor
help a
bang.
kid with his cat and ultimately
yang
get
lebih
that
bener anjing.
cat to sort of
Bapaknya
join your
nggak ada.
crew as a cat raider.
Wow lagi
You just said
jawabannya
cat
anjing.
raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god.
Bisa dibawa kucingnya, Wak.
Perfect.
So as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
So starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is going around, you could decide to have your skald sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So bilang AC Odyssey expansion gitu.
What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
Gila, masa kemasannya Assassin's Creed udah lewat.
So, you know, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other.
Udah, gamenya bakal
The idea
dikasih
was to
tanpa
try
login ya,
and have
udah
a good
cukup
insult, but also
Ampun
to
dah.
have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
Si Valhalla grafik kayak PS3. Lu jalanin lagi PS3 lu. Gua mau lihat game apa yang gambarnya kayak begini.
Di bayangan, di visual otak lu memang kadang bagus gitu PS3, tapi kalau dinyalain lagi mah busuk.
How exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult,
WD2-nya
identifying the
dikasih
right
via email,
cadence,
ya Allah.
and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
Interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Ini nggak ada penting-penting ini. Sebenarnya jawaban lu mau apa juga.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Nggak ngomong lagi.
Iya nggak gerak mulutnya.
Well, what a surprise! Eivor of the Raven clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it. So we gave Eivor a fishing line, so you can actually throw out a line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop, where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just again take it all in.
Buat apaan nih?
Electric eel.
Awal-awal sih
So this is what we
mancing,
call one of our
ngeselin
offering hunters.
Apalagi
So
kalau
the
ada quest
idea is that you
harus
find these around the world
5 ikan
and
ini gitu.
you make offerings with it. So it'll make like animal parts and
Pasti.
stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here, what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it, where as you do your offering, you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff.
Buatin jejak kaki lagi.
So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that like the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some events. So it's a way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, rather than just the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with outside of warfare and politics.
Bikin bangunan.
And it also showcases like a different
itu mah
facet of the world.
Oh iya. Kan bukan set mission.
It just winds the breadth.
Another set mission.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are
Bikin kursi,
going through tough
bikin
times
sofa.
with whatever Rued's been doing to the territory, and so they're just here trying to survive and
di sini feelnya Witcher banget sih.
the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can give them food, give them some
kan mereka nyolong nih,
or
bocah-bocah kan.
say, hey, good luck.
Maksud gua kalau mau dibikin beneran lebih menarik kayak game ya sih nggak usah ada ngomong-ngomong gini gitu loh. Pilihannya pas di depan itu ya nih, di depan rumahnya bocah-bocah ini tadi nih tempat mereka tinggal nih, yang di depan ini 3 nih, pas rumah itu harusnya lu ada 3 pilihan approach gitu loh. Lu coba ngomong, lu coba dengerin mereka ngapain, sama ketiga bunuh langsung semuanya cuy. Jadi maksud gua lebih ini gitu loh,
lebih interaktif gitu set missionnya.
Terus ntar pas lu bilang bunuh semua anak-anak kecil ini, ada pilihan lagi, bakar hidup-hidup, penggal palanya, sama gantung.
Jadi psycho.
Lo nggak maksud gue sebagai jiwa Viking gitu loh, maksudnya harusnya kan pilihannya kayak gitu loh. Jadi jangan semuanya tuh lu diikat gitu loh, jadi sebebas-bebasnya gitu loh dibikinnya. Pendekatannya. Jadi kayak apa yang si Cyberpunk lakukan gitu loh, pendekatannya ada banyak. Kalau ini kan lu melakukan quest, ya masih ada ngejar ini.
Challenging the player on free run abilities, but also for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for.
Sekalian aja harusnya ada itu ya, ada sapu terbang ya.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes. By collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts and tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression, and it's sort of to represent.
Gue yakin sih final version ini nggak akan jauh dari work in progress version ini.
One of my favorite
nggak bakalan banyak yang
tinggal berapa
coming upon a house or building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, found a way in.
Iya, soalnya nggak ada yang baru.
I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where
tiba-tiba dia ngomong, nah ini kan game yang nggak lu suka semua, ini nih yang bener. Baru semua.
Making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, trying to find how do I get into this.
Agak itu matinya ngeliat Voldemort mati.
To offer challenges to
itu biasanya lagi
players,
tidur terus dibilangin,
basically come out of
woi
it like
NDA 2 jam lagi lah, matinya kayak gitu.
but you also get to see more of a story behind these locations which we've crafted, so it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of the story.
Iya, mending Legion aja cu, masih mending cu.
Iya Legion gue lebih kalau milih inian sih, gue duit gue mendingan buat Legion dulu deh.
Yeah,
tapi kalau itu sih Luis
exploration and just finding things out in the world. I was just wandering and came across this clearing.
Ya maksudnya ini nggak perlu di breakdown gitu loh gameplaynya.
Nah itu dia yang gue bingung kenapa di breakdown.
Sama aja.
We have scattered in the world. So as
malah dengan membreakdown ini orang
jadi find altars like this and by interacting with them here, it's a trap that's been set.
Ini kan yang kemarin nih, lihat betapa begonya nih yang main ini. Dia kan ngulangin hal yang sama berkali-kali.
So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical
ada yang ngechat it's a lie. Jadi dia dari tadi ngomongin bohong.
And so here the abilities that you see Reagan using like are a little bit on the mystical side of things.
Itunya
What's happening is
shadow
Eivor at the beginning of that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in sort of different light and filter.
Ini konsep bosnya sama kayak si ini Scarecrow-nya Batman.
NCT for Civilization Technology kan ini.
Jadi halu-halu.
Lumayan jago nih dia nih.
Kalau yang tadi kayak benar kata David tuh, nunggu inian dah.
Nunggu apa script?
Iya nunggu script.
Nah, soalnya leak yang kemarin bego banget cuy yang lawan Dewa Listrik gitu. Ini ya kalau ini bosnya goblok.
Apa kemarin yang merahnya itu di ganti ya?
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to
berarti kita tahu nih variannya sama.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are. So we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main background way, but it is still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
Dibilangin WD2 bisa lu klaim nanti via email, ampun dah bener-bener.
I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing.
Kayak kagak ngerti bahasa Indonesia, cuy.
Here it's all about
udah dijelasin pakai bahasa Indonesia nih.
And the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world,
ngeklaim PC lu juga pada bisa running nggak sih?
Areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on top of another.
Nggak pasti numpuk cuy, yang harus.
The ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
Nah ini lumayan dah. Tapi kalau lama-lama ngerjain ini kesel juga sih.
Tapi kan tujuannya kan tadi dijelasin tuh anjing. Tujuannya bukan buat ini ya.
You can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there, and so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one, it's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
Selesai ke Valhalla.
Idiot anjing memutuskan dari trailer anjing.
Sama kayak game sebelumnya, udah.
now it's
keren kalau
finally time
tiba-tiba
to go and get off to
easy
Oswald's wedding.
review
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed
so
Valhalla.
this is the moment it's all been
Besok ya,
pointed to.
besok lagi.
By the moment you get
Datang
into the
duluan.
Turis,
Wah, ini dalam ada
it's
Eric
sort of
nih.
like mentioned by Oswald that he's trying to get married with his Dane
Fotonya di
lady.
kopeng anjing.
And so
Lagi main
as
itu
you
ya,
go
lagi
through the
main apa?
arc,
Sil.
that's sort of like the underlying
Sil.
thread. Really, it's about Rued
Kok dia lagi
creating
sih?
turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good
Sakit cuy
leader.
nih orang
And
mukanya.
so you
Siapa sih
finally,
cinta
after
Oswald
going
siapa
through
sih?
all of that arc, finally get
Maksudnya
these two
dia apa?
together, go through
Sidekicknya?
their wedding, and
Atau
you're
apanya sih?
invited to attend the
Penasehat?
ceremony.
Iya mungkin kayak teman
And then all
lama
the
gitu.
activities
Tuh,
and
giginya kok
fun
gini?
times that
Kan
comes
nggak mungkin
afterwards.
teman lama tuh yang satu dari Norway,
Yeah,
yang
as much
satu
as we've
dari
seen the brutal
teman
side
lama
of England,
gimana? anjing?
it's nice to see the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or a warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a
Wah,
Viking.
ini serunya
And
nih.
so here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering
Ya.
is. And what's cool here is
gitu
it's
sih.
a good alliance of Norse culture with Saxon
Gimana,
culture, sort
horn
of
tiba-tiba
smashing
keluarnya
those
jadi
two
gelas.
things together and building
Ini
bridges.
challenge ini.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
Yeah, so like anything can happen in a
Pakai
Viking event.
controller
Right?
ini mainnya.
Eivor, yeah, here, you just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
Kontraknya main Xbox kok.
Barely a challenge.
Steady all!
Ini di Xbox ini kayak
For the
game.
wedding race. The king and his bride
Xbox
against
One harusnya ya.
all. My
Iya.
king.
So here we see the decision I made to spare Rued came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made coming back. So as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
Minumnya pakai tanduk jadi iya, emang pakai gituan zaman dulu.
You're basically presented with the option to
Kalau
sort of
lihat
step in for
ras barbarian
Oswald,
di
fight the
banyak
fight for
game-game
him,
atau
or
di
let him go
film
and
atau
fight his
di
own fight.
buku
Yeah,
ya
you know,
emang
personally,
game
I
gitu.
chose to fight myself because
Source-nya
I
dari
thought
dunia
Eivor
asli.
is the type of
Kalau
person
lihat
who likes to
banyak
finish what
yang
she
pakai
started.
inian atau dari inian yang gading
Norway bro. Observe bisa salah.
mama.
Oswald, you gutless Arya swine!
Dia ini kayak
I'll
Baldur
slay
kayak
the
Baldur.
wolf-kissed, then hang you with your own tongue.
How does this encounter with Rued differ from our previous fight with him?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him, and so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you, and so this is a
Damage-nya
fight to
gede
the death.
juga ya playernya.
Iya, damage ini kecil banget.
Iya, damage berapa kali ini kayak kita boss fight-nya tuh.
And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory and to be a good ally for you.
A great service. I promised you an alliance, and now you have it.
Ini ngerekrut alliance
One
ini
day I will
berarti.
need you to make good on that alliance.
Berarti
So
itu
we're
proses
about to
dan
take off
barangnya
from the
yang
wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on long ship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Tapi The Witcher 3 side missionnya masih menarik kali, Wak. Emang iya. Maksud gue lu masih penasaran gitu disuruh kesana buat ngeliat sesuatu terus ada apaan di situ gitu.
Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Ini juga gue paling males udah sinkronis.
Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. It's coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Masih aja dipakai, gila mekanisme.
Lumayan lah buat ini kali. Leap of Faith. Up next, Hyperscape. Lu udah coba download tuh Hyperscape?
Belum.
Gak bisa login masuk.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Pope. I'm the senior community developer on Hyperscape.
And I'm Jim Jennings. I'm the senior producer on Hyperscape. Hyperscape's now in its open beta phase, so you can go to Uplay and download it.
Mendingan dia dah.
So, a little while back, we recorded a match for you. So we walk through it moment to moment, explain what's going on throughout a match of Hyperscape. There's a lot going on with hacks, guns, the gameplay. So Graham and I are going to walk you through it right now, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
So at the start now, you'll see the insertion phase. There's the three of them in the squad. It looks like Helios, which is one of the landmarks.
So all the places we're seeing on the map right now with like a name above it, that tends to be a higher loot area, would you say?
For one of the big yellow letter ones like this one, this is one of the landmarks. Landmarks tend to have higher density and higher.
Berarti udah ada landmarknya.
Which also means most people will be going there, so you might
high lootnya di mana?
Usually have a few more friends if you go to a landmark. So in this case though, he's gone outside and he's found a supply crate. So it's time to loot these instead. So he's looking for both hacks and weapons.
Right, so the looting phase,
cepet banget gila ininya pacingnya.
Familiar with, but in Hyperscape you do have those supply crates that you may be lucky enough to find. And what's the deal with supply crates?
So supply crates are placed around the world, so you'll hear them and then you can go and find them, and then inside them you'll find weapons and hacks. Usually you find slightly better weapons and hacks within them. Here now we've switched, so we're looking at Chimera instead. So he's in the landmark, he's in Helios now, and he's still in the looting phase. But as you can see from the red triangle up there, there's actually some friends,
Yeah, so the action gets started, okay, right here.
Yeah, so he's one-on-one, he's going with the man with shotgun against someone who's using the heal hack.
Soalnya FPS-nya nggak 60 cuy.
You can see, so that player's taking extra health at that point.
Sama lu mabuk aja.
Sakit langsung pala gue. Gue
mual cuy, gue langsung.
I believe it helped him survive at that point. There seems to be a few other players.
Mualnya kayak ini deh, kayak waktu lu kebanyakan nikotin nggak deh?
Iya benar.
Oh no, so he's just been eliminated actually.
Yes.
So he just he's been eliminated and he's turned into an echo now. So he's going to wait for his friends to bring him back. So he's going to go to one of these restore points, which are basically places where someone else from another squad has been eliminated, and you can be restored and brought back to life at one of those points.
The action pretty much never stops in the game. If you're eliminated, you're not out.
You're not stuck watching a camera with someone else. You're still playing.
Semua PC juga bisa jalanin ini game.
And then you can call to be restored at one of those points. There's plenty of people, like you said,
bisa nonton itu ya.
At least 3 others.
Kalau lo settings tapi.
So we can also see when you have a teammate who needs a revive, it's called out on your.
Yeah, the green icon you can see at the side is him calling for a revive at this point. So Mr. Gomi's busy eliminating other players, which will cause more revive points.
Ya, saya 8 GB ya kalau yang mau download.
This guy's low on health, so I don't think he's gonna last long.
Okay, so I see once someone's eliminated.
Nyari sih.
Well, you actually see him in both Chimera and elimination.
Orang langsung ada di depan
so it's just Mr. Gomi by himself at present time. So can he survive this?
Lu buka Uplay itu langsung dia anjing.
Gue tulisannya buka Uplay Ubisoft Forward.
Kirinya nih, kiri lagi, kiri banget itu kan barnya bisa dipencet gitu. Ke kiri. Kuat gue mual cuy.
Musim nggak nontonin.
Ibu juga dengerin dong.
When you are eliminated, you go back to just your melee weapon.
Okay, so you don't hold on to your gear.
Udah nih, udah selesai downloadnya.
Tai.
Serius?
So this is the start of the decay you can see. So you still have
Kan 500 gua. Setiap habis bermasalah selalu dinaikin jadi 500.
Map size reduction and zone reduction to bring players towards a smaller map into the center. So instead of having a circle that shrinks, we've decided to actually dissolve the map.
And is it kind of the same? Will you always know which districts are in the decay first?
Iya, sama kayak lu mapnya Ardis.
From the map when you bring it up what's going, and you'll also see the icon when he turns on the left hand side of the screen which shows you where the safe area to go is. So at the top it'll show you the sector is closing, and then you've got the little icon of the person running with a distance against it. That tells you where to go to the next sector.
Iya, di Indonesia dulu sih gue nggak kepikiran sama sekali ini 832.
We're gonna take some height as well to start to be able to look for other players to keep themselves a little bit safe. So he's seen another player, so he's starting to.
Yang kalau mau download bunyi nomor telepon dulu cuy.
You see the red
apa gimana lagunya cuy?
Telkom
definitely players around. You'll see him going to go high again to try and take some positional advantage.
080989 4 kali cuy.
Ada lagunya.
Iya, ada lagunya cuy, ada jingle.
What I'm noticing is that they're doing a good job from street level to the rooftops. Is that kind of a good way to approach a game of Hyperscape, to not just stay in one area?
You should really use the variety between streets
Gua nggak kuat coy nonton gameplaynya coy.
and to keep yourself safe. Rooftops are great to see what's going on, but you're also then
ini sih nggak 60 nih yang di Twitch.
Height and interior and exterior as you go, just to keep yourself safe and to aggressive.
Ayo gue ganti ke YouTube lah biar mendingan dah.
So he just picked up
Pusing cong
golden skybreaker.
Beneran mual cuy, pengen muntah cuy.
That is the top tier skybreaker. So basically,
semuanya udah pada main anjing Hyperscape. Oh semuanya first impressionnya baru bagus cuy.
Find another skybreaker, it will go to level 2. Find another one, it will go to level 3.
Streamer.
And what he has now, as you can see in the bottom bar there,
streamer udah disuruh nyoba dulu ya.
the top tier of the skybreaker, so this does more damage. Each time you fuse it or a hack, it will go in various different.
So you basically just to loot up, to fuse up, you just need to find a duplicate of your weapon or hack.
Yeah. So you'll see though on the left, when you see the other players' names, you can see that Mr. Gomi has 2 yellow weapons and a yellow hack. So he has 2 fully fused weapons and 1 fully fused hack.
How does healing work in this game?
So healing will either work by I took damage and then I retreated and your health bar will come back up, or if a player has a heal hack, which he actually does at present time, so you see that in the bottom it says heal, he can throw that on the ground and then there'll be an AoE heal, so both you and your teammates can come into it and it will heal you.
Di stream udah coba do. Jangan ntar kena ini.
William cok.
They can't heal
Kena
up in your
copyright
area, but they could also use the heal hack themselves.
Kena copyright nggak sih?
Kena lah kayaknya.
Iya kena sih.
So you see them now, they're starting to hunt again. I guess I've heard some other players because you can see them starting to move around and there's a sense that they're not
Nah ini mendingan nih 60 FPS.
There's a ping for an enemy, so yeah, they come back hard again.
Yeah.
So this guy finds himself in the middle of a bunch
Yes,
of the 3
Spes ini.
not in the best spot just now.
Meninggal tuh.
And yeah, that's the end for him.
Gue lagi main nih.
Ini sih Apex saya udah cukup fast. Ini lebih parah.
So he managed to fusion one of his hacks then again. So here you'll see the decay started. The player found himself out in the decay as it was starting.
Ini yang gue masih jalan
ternyata. Out in the open and they eliminated him with a record.
Mantesan GPU-nya kerjanya fan-nya sampai muter cuy.
Another one down for elimination. He seems to be on a roll at this point.
And now he's fully fused his sniper rifle.
Ih nggak bisa gue nonton ini di YouTube juga mau muntah gue.
Still quick check. Just
lu juga sama aja masih.
Iya nggak bisa gue.
So there's still 5 teams left.
Kayaknya karena FOV-nya juga deh. Harusnya lo udah dipanjangin. Soalnya senjatanya kegedean cuy. Kalau lo lihat. Ukuran senjatanya.
Gue dari tadi masih nyari loh.
Starting to move forward. They have a nice variety of weapons between them. You know, someone's got salvo, there's a guy.
Ya ini di games kan.
Really split in terms of hacks and weapons.
Di home aja tuh nomor 1.
In terms of games.
Ya udah lu kasih lihat aja lah, Will. Lu emang nggak di sono?
And he has, and that's the end for.
Lu mending kasih lihat aja daripada kita pusing, Will.
Takeshi Casualing, so
tunjukin
now you
aja, Will.
mentioned that username. You'll notice if you've been watching the
Dia pakai Battle Eye, Cuk.
usernames all seem pretty similar.
Berarti kemungkinan besar bisa cepat jebolan.
So this is the feature we call streamer protection.
Dengan
so
embot.
it allows you to anonymize who's in the game. So
main kayak gini pakai embot seneng
this
banget
per
pasti.
players managed to find themselves.
Udahlah pohonnya Geno buat tebang aja lah
Unfortunately, they've been chased in there by someone with a fully
Ntar
fused
nggak tahu.
salvo. So that was kind of the
Nino, lu bagiin aja 50%.
So the swap now.
Gue kasih dah, no. Nino gue baik.
David kagak ada, Cok.
Dibilangin nggak percaya lu pada.
Beneran nggak ada?
Gak ada, Cok, di David, Cok.
In that countdown that just finished. What does that mean?
So basically in the top right now you'll see the cross and it's kind of ticking down. So this is said that there's no time left.
Lu nggak pernah beli game Ubisoft kali itu?
Basically every match there will be cards played.
Mungkin dong lu.
This was the health kit event. There's things
Masa
like
karena dia belum pernah beli nggak boleh?
And are these just random?
Ayo Will, di mana Will? Coba Will.
So there's two different ways this happens. So there's a game
Search aja,
master, right,
search.
who plays them in this
Lock up
game.
gitu nggak bisa
Or if
lock
there's
up.
a streamer in the game, the
Lagi di
streamer's
offline.
viewers will get the chance to vote for which one they want to
Itu.
see. So it'll pop up, there'll be 3 different options, and then whichever gets the highest number of votes will be the one that's played in the game. So viewers are
Streamnya habis ya,
impacted,
nggak tahu habis ini ada apaan lagi. Mungkin kita juga bentar lagi off sih, soalnya kayaknya udah nggak kuat juga gue nontonin ini gameplay.
So here you see that,
Mabuk
that
gue.
you got caught in the decay then and fell through the building, so trying to move back in.
Ini kenapa ya
There's
sekarang
only
ya
3
game-game
teams left
pada
now, so it's
melalui
starting to get
optimizing
towards a smaller
shaders
map
dulu
size,
gitu
so
ya?
it's going to become chaotic shortly. And they're just
Kayak
on the edge of
Detroit.
this landmark
Become human.
of red tiger. So they're heading
Lama
up.
banget nih
Here
gila.
you'll see at the top it says crown appears in 10 seconds. So basically you have a
Lamaan
crown
optimizing
that's formed
shadersnya daripada
If the
gua
player
ngedownload
grabs the
game.
crown and manages to hold onto it for 45 seconds, you will win that game through what we call crown victory. The only downside to that is once you've picked up the crown, everyone can see where you are and everyone's going to chase you.
So yeah, he's got the crown.
Cara ngeklaim BD2-nya kalau lo
If he were to
buru-buru dan
get
nggak bisa
eliminated, it
login
would drop and that
ke
count.
Windows
Yeah, so
Explorer,
whoever picks it up
lo
next,
kecek ke
that
Windows
person,
ada
the
folder
crown
system
will
32 itu lo
And that's
hapus.
only one of the 2 ways you can win a match of Hyperscape, right?
Yeah, you can win via the crown
boleh
if
sih,
you want to
boleh
take
coba.
it and maneuver. This is why you'll see the really high up to own the higher space. Or you can eliminate all the other teams.
You could sneak around and grab that crown and survive.
If you use your hacks well and you use
Cuma ada news sama game dong.
the hide lock, then yeah, you could possibly grab the crown, get to the end, and then win via a crown victory.
Wow. There it is. A screen I'll never see.
Coba loginnya di tempat lain, Will, coba.
All right, well, that was just one match of the frenetic, fast-paced game, Hyperscape, that we are both very lucky to work on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching UB Forward and this
Akhirnya udah
post-show.
berhenti juga
As we
gameplaynya.
mentioned before, the game's available right now in open beta on PC. Just go to Uplay to download it. And we're also thrilled to be taking part in the Twitch Rivals event. The information appearing magically on the screen below us. So, Graham, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eric. Have a good day.
And we'll see you in the Hyperscape.
Apakah sudah selesai acaranya? Thank you for watching.
Udah selesai ya, Mau?
Udah kelar.
Udah kelar ya?
Apakah sudah?
Udah selesai tuh. Apa namanya? Live streamnya. Oke, kita akan menutup ini dengan sesi Q&A. Kalau ada yang mau tanya-tanya ya, dalam 10 menit ke depan. Kalau tidak ada yang nanya, kami akan off. Tapi sebenarnya gue rasa semua asumsi dan pendapat sudah kita gelontorkan tadi ya, sepanjang gameplaynya Assassin's Creed Valhalla ya. Dan itu belum final version juga, jadi tidak fair rasanya untuk menentukan gamenya itu bagus atau jelek ya. Jadi kira-kira ada yang mau nanya? Kalau mau nanya boleh, nggak mau nanya sudah cukup jelas juga boleh. Jadi silakan lah. Kalau kebetulan juga nggak ada AdSense nih video ya, karena di copyright juga.
View apa FOV-nya standarnya emang udah banget coy. Gue juga pusing ini anjing. Karena
emang udah bukan umurnya aja, Pak.
Standarnya soalnya 60. FOV-nya terlalu rendah.
Hyperscape bakal di-review nggak nih? Pastilah kita review. Jadi worth nggak beli Valhalla? Ya nggak bisa tahu lah, kita mesti megang dulu hands-on dong. Biasanya sih kita dikasih Ubisoft tuh H-3, H-4 lah nanti. Semoga bisa on time ya.
Ada 8 di awal lo dikasih pilihan ada 8
Hero.
Enggak sih, kayaknya cuma avatarnya doang deh. Soalnya avatarnya bisa lu rubah-rubah gitu.
Assassin's Valhalla menurut TLM bakal baik apa busuk nggak tahu, Sony lagi menimbang-nimbang gitu, bahkan nanti bagus. Ghost of Tsushima besok reviewnya keluar ya, tanggal 14 ya. Gue lagi finalizing script.
Oh Valhalla tuh keluarnya kapan ya?
Oktober.
Orang Oktober mah pasti orang mendingan nabung buat Cyberpunk.
November ya, November.
Iya mendingan nabung buat ini dong, Cyberpunk.
Ya tergantung player kali ya.
Soalnya kalau gue sih mendingan jauh Cyberpunk dulu.
Menurut lo apakah Ubisoft bakal membuat Far Cry 6 menjadi sebuah game yang lebih fresh kayak AC series gitu? Far Cry itu udah mengalami transisi ke RPG juga semenjak Far Cry 5. Jadi memang sudah berubah gameplaynya, Pak. WD2 nanti bisa di email. Kalau nggak tadi dengerin Sony tuh bisa hapus folder Win32.
Jangan dong, ntar beneran dilakuin.
Nggak apa-apa udah. Kalau nggak ngerti-ngerti juga, capek cuk.
Ini sih beneran Apex banget cuk. Bener dah. Ini yang demen Apex pasti bakalan suka banget sama ini game anjing.
November tanggung The Spider-Man.
Serius bagus banget dah. Lu coba dah, Will. Soalnya sistem pingnya juga sama persis.
Kalau ping sih kayaknya udah pada ngikutin sih, udah pada adaptasi juga mah tuh.
Iya, semuanya udah pada ngikutin. Ya emang revolusioner sih hitungannya.
Iya, pingnya enak banget.
Oh lebih enak ini cuk. Karena gue nggak tahu ya, tapi kayaknya dari sebentar main skill ceilingnya jauh lebih rendah ini. Kalau untuk shooting mechanics ya, karena nggak banyak recoil yang perlu diinin.
Legend memang belum saatnya untuk ngeluarin breakdown, nanti mungkin di breakdown ya, sabar ya.
Iya,
senjatanya nggak ada recoil cuk.
Hyperscape udah bisa dimainin, udah bisa sekarang betanya.
Itu yang berat tuh kalau nggak ada recoilnya, buset lestring semua orang dong tembak.
Iya, ini nggak ada recoil senjatanya. Gue assault rifle ini dia nggak ada recoil.
Yuk 4 menit lagi, ada yang mau nanya-nanya lagi?
Paling spray doang ya Son deh.
Apa?
Nge-spray doang ya tembakannya.
Enggak juga. Lu coba mana? Ini bahkan heavy machine gunnya, mini gunnya nggak ada recoil.
Nggak ada recoil sama sekali.
Beneran nggak ada. Bukan kecil recoil ya, nggak ada recoil ya. Emang beneran nggak ada.
Tapi mainnya emang sambil lompat-lompat sih, sampai terbang-terbang.
Oh iya, makanya dia ngejualnya
Valhalla David kayak bakal Hyperscape dia yang review, atau itu David atau si William mungkin. Karena pemain Apex.
Oh, nih Hyperscape gue tahu yang bakalan jago banget siapa? Orang-orang yang main Quake.
Iya, karena
tadi gue baru pengen jawab Eric anjir.
Yang main Quake bakalan jago banget anjing.
Dok, kalau Apple Silicon kapan tayang tuh katanya?
Harusnya hari ini kan. Cuman kan tadi gue nggak bisa connect ke komputer gue tuh. Upload.
Akankah ada mabar dengan anak TLM Hyperscape? Mungkin besok. Yang pasti gue mesti ngeluarin skrip GOT gue dulu karena tanggal 14 mau rilis.
Game of Thrones.
Ya, Game of Thrones. Jadi besok kita mungkin bakal main Let's Play. Ekspektasi gue terhadap WD Legion besar sih. Karena mekaniknya baru, jadi gue tertarik banget sih. Hyperscape ini besok di TLM sih.
Ini Hyperscape bukan game yang aim lu nomor 1, movement lu nomor 1 kayaknya. Soalnya kalau lu jago aiming tapi movement lu nggak jago,
iya jadi kayak mati juga.
PS6, PS4, PS5 itu di current gen dan free upgrade ke PS5 kalau nanti lu beli di PS4 nih.
Nah, menarik sih game.
Bang, giveaway video lucu nggak diumumin penang? Nanti ya gue tanyain Yong ya, karena itu anak sosmed yang ngurusin ya. Sekarang enak ya, gue bisa lempar gitu anak sosmed yang ngurusin. Kalau dulu gue sama Soni. Gue soalnya nggak megang itu project giveaway video itu.
Komodo.
Oke, 1 menit lagi gue akan pamit dulu. Kita akan kembali lagi besok mungkin di Hyperscape. Bukan besok sih, tapi hari ini. Kalau review GOT itu besok tanggal 14 ya.
Hari Selasa berarti.
Iya, hari Selasa. Kalau hari ini nanti kita coba live Hyperscape. Mungkin sekitar jam 6-7 malam mungkin. Event selanjutnya Xbox dong, bentar lagi. Xbox dengan first party-nya. Kita lihat mungkin aja ada Breakdown Legend di sana. Mungkin aja, tapi katanya sih first party semua soalnya. Oke, thank you semua yang udah nonton ya. Sudah nemenin kita nonton. Semoga live dari kita dan insight-nya bermanfaat buat kalian semua.
Ya.
Jangan lupa follow kita di semua social medianya TLM. Ada di @thelazy.media, ada di Instagram, di Facebook, ada website-nya. Mau support silakan untuk ke Patreon atau Saweria sekarang nih gitu. Ya, terima kasih. Besok kami bukan besok tapi hari ini kami akan main Hyperscape sama anak-anak. Satu tim tadi berapa maksimal, Pak?
82.
Itu kan satu map, satu tim Son. Masa 82 timnya.
2 dong.
Nah, kayak 4 deh.
4. Ya udah, besok kita lanjut guys. Hari ini lanjut, besok siang. Entar siang maksudnya. Oke, sampai jumpa. Thank you semua ya. Sudah nemenin kita live ya. Bye-bye guys.
Bye-bye. Gue masih nyariin cuy, nggak ada nih.